Hello, 10-3s. Welcome to the first unit, Earning Income. So I'll quickly go through examples on each of the pages and then give you some time to work on the practice. So here is the first little intro. So earning income. So Todd manages a music store. Most of the employees are paid by the hour. What are some other jobs that pay by the hour? So in this space you can fill out some of the things that you think jobs that get paid by the hour. So working at a dairy farm, working at McDonald's, working at the grocery store. You can think of some of your own examples as well. And what are some other ways that people get paid to work? So you can investigate some of them on the next page, but just brainstorm. If you know some, write them down. If you don't know, move on to the next page. So getting started, so let's write each fraction as a decimal. So on your calculator you can do 5 divided by 100, and that'll get you 0.05. And the next one, 17 divided by 100, will give you 0.17. Couple for you to try. Here, 75 divided by 100, well, on the calculator you'll get 0.75, and for this one you'll get 0.60. Here we go, we're going to write each percent as a decimal. Well, if you remember that per means for every, and cent means 100. So this is for every 100. So 5% is 5 out of 100, or 0.05. 10% is the same thing as saying 10 out of 100, which is 0.10. 15% will be 15 out of 100, which equals 0.15. So you try the next three. This one might be a little bit tricky, the 3.25%, but remember that it's 3.25 out of 100 because it's percent. Okay, calculating each percent. So 4% of 500, well, 4%, remember, if that's 4 over 100, that gets you to 0.04. So 0.04 on your calculator, if you type it in, 0.04 times 500, you should get 20. 12% of 500, well, that's like saying 0.12 times 750. Will get you 90. All right, your turn. 3.5% of 800 and 2.25% of 600. So pause the video and try these next two. Okay, so here's a little tech tip. This doesn't work on all calculators, but maybe you can check it out on yours if it does. So here we go, we're going to calculate each percent. So I'll do one, and then you've got 3 more to do. So 6% of 80, well, that's like saying 0.06 times 80, and that gives us 4.8. That's an equal sign, 4.8. So 6% of 80 is 4.8. So the other ones here, remember, you need to convert the 12%, the 2.5%, and the 8.5% into a decimal before you multiply it by what number you have. Okay, next page. Write each decimal as a fraction. Well, this is for you to work on. I'll give you a couple tips here. The first one, think about it in terms of out of 100. So 0.25, well, if we multiply that by 100, you'll get something like 25 over 100. Okay? That's the same thing like we were doing for the percent. So you can try the next three. Number 6, write each length of time in hours and minutes. Well, remember that there is 60 minutes in 1 hour. So half an hour, so this 8.5 hours, it's not 8 hours and 5 minutes, it's going to be 8 hours and 30 minutes, because 0.5 times 60 gets you 30. So you need to keep that in mind when you do the next ones, that it's not 17 hours and 25 minutes, it's 0.25 multiplied by 60. Again, you need to take the minutes that you have and divide it by 60. So for example, 30 divided by 60 gets you a half. So it'll be 12 hours, 12.5 hours. The next one's a couple more tips. What is the total number of hours? 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 50 weeks. And you're probably wondering, why do I need to know this? Well, if you're ever calculating how much money someone owes you for the work you've done, if you do the math incorrectly, you can either get overpaid and you might have to pay that back when you've already spent the money, or you might get underpaid, which I don't think anybody's going to come and track you down and say, hey, we didn't pay you enough money. So it's very important that you realize how to calculate your wages. So the total number of hours, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 50 weeks. Well, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, so that's 5 days times 8 hours, that's 40 hours in a week, and you worked 50 weeks. So it's going to be 8, sorry, let's get my pen here, 8 times 5 times 50, and that'll get you your total there. And the same thing applies here, 7.5 times 6 days a week, multiplied by 52 weeks will get your total number of hours, 42 hours in a week, and 120 hours in 5 years. The next one's pretty straightforward, determining what double is and determining each value multiplied by a factor of 1.5. So that's calculator questions. So again, it might be $10 times 1.5 hours or $15 times 1.5 hours, etc., etc. And the last one, calculating simple addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Those are all calculator things that I would suggest you use that. Just punch them in on your calculator. Okay, 1.1, identifying ways of earning income. So this is pretty straightforward to read through the different ways of earning income, but if you are looking for a job, it's important to know all the different ways. Let me get a better highlighter there instead of black. So ways of earning income: hourly wage, wage and tips, salary, commission, royalty, piecework, and contract. All right, these are all different ways of earning money. Here you're just going to match each job with the payment method and identify how each worker might be paid. Just pick one of the payment methods and list 3 jobs that might be paid each way and research some ideas. List 3 jobs you might be interested in. For each job, identify the way you might be paid. So you might have a job already that you can use the information there for. 1.2, salaries and contracts. So 3% of 40 grand. Well, remember from our old, from the first page there, converting 3% to a decimal. So 3% is the same thing as saying 3 out of 100, which on your calculator you'll get 0.03. So we're going to multiply 0.03 times 40,000. And you'll get 1,200. Okay. Try the next one, 5.5 of 78,525. So again, 5.5% is the same thing as 5.5 out of 100, which gives you 0.055. So 0.055 times 7850, and you'll get what the total is there. I got $4,318.88. I rounded up. Okay, so Nellie is a head chef of a restaurant. Her annual salary is $56,000. Well, how much does Nellie earn each month? So there's 12 months in a year, so you divide that by 12. Again, on your calculator, 56,000 divided by 12, and I got $4,666.67 each month. And how much does Nellie earn each week? So how many weeks are there in a year? So there's about 52, so you're going to divide that by 52. And you'll get 1,076.92 each week. So here's an example 1. Sarah designs houses. She's paid by contract from each builder. This year she earned $25,000 $15,200, $19,750, and $31,800. So what is her gross income? Now, gross does not mean stinky or unsanitary. It means total. So you need to add them up. So 25,000 plus 15,200 plus 19,750, and you will get a total. So what is Sarah's gross income? Well, it is whatever total that you get there goes there. So you need to do that. Example 2. Asif is a project manager for a publishing company. His yearly salary is $65,000. This year he will also get a bonus that is 2% of his salary. What is Asif's gross income? So there's something we need to do. We need to calculate what the bonus is, and then we need to add them together. So 2%, remember, 2% is the same thing as 2 divided by 100, 2 per 100, and that gets you 0.02. So let me zoom in a little bit here, and we will get 0.02 times 65,000. On your calculator, you should get that his bonus is $1,300. Pretty sweet. So remember, we need to calculate the gross income, which is everything added together. So 65,000 plus 1,300, and you will get 66,300. Okay. Solution number 2. What is the total percentage of the salary Asif earns, including his bonus? Well, we had the 100% plus 102, which is 102%. So 102% we can make into a decimal, 102%, so 102 out of 100. That gives me 1.02. So his salary is 102%, which is the same thing as 1.02 times 65,000. And you should get the exact same number of 66,300, which is the same as before. So the gross income is $66,300. All right, your turn. You get some practice time in here. So I will be checking these for completion. Also, these need to be completed. And these need to be completed as well.